Ever get the feeling like the internet is just one giant drama factory? Like you're constantly bombarded by feuds and gossip.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And, the music world is no exception.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, like, online beefs, few are as captivating as the one between, Drake and Akademiks.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm assuming most people know Drake. He's the, global hip-hop superstar.
Yeah.
But Akademiks, he might be a new name to some people listening.
Right.
He's got this, like, super popular platform where he basically provides commentary, we'll say, on hip-hop news and culture.
Yeah.
But he's not afraid to stir the pot a little bit.
He's pretty outspoken.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to do, like, a deep dive today
Okay.
into their feud or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
And we're going to be pulling from some pasted text excerpts that give us, like, a behind-the-scenes look at their whole interaction or whatever conflict.
Yeah, I mean, what I think is so interesting about this is that, it's not just like your average Twitter spat, right?
All right.
Like these excerpts, they really give us a glimpse into some deeper stuff.
Yeah.
About fame, power dynamics, how artists like navigate this whole digital age.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different world out there now for these artists.
It is.
One of the excerpts mentions that Akademiks actually, like, claimed that Drake messaged him directly.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was really interesting because that immediately, it kind of raises the stakes.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that Drake reaching out privately, was that a calculated move?
Mm.
Or was it more like a sign that he was, like, genuinely frustrated?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. And it really kind of like gets to the heart of how these hip hop beefs, right?
Yeah.
They've traditionally played out, like in the past, they were very public, right? It was like a way for artists to assert dominance and protect their reputation.
Totally.
But, with Drake opting for a private message, it makes you wonder if he was trying to control the narrative a little bit, or maybe even de-escalate the situation before it blows up even more.
Right. Yeah, because, everything's public now.
Exactly, yeah.
So it makes you wonder, like, why engage at all?
Yeah.
Drake has this massive platform. He could easily just, like, ignore Akademiks.
That's true, yeah.
So what do you make of that?
Well, I think it's all about the power dynamics here. Even though Drake's on a completely different level, fame-wise, responding to Akademiks, even privately, could be seen as acknowledging him. Almost like lending him some credibility.
Yeah.
It might even be that kind of validation that Akademiks was hoping for.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And looking at another excerpt, it almost feels like you can, like, sense the tension, right?
Yeah.
Like, in their exchange, like, the language it's so loaded. Like, it reminds me of how, back in the day, rappers used to diss each other on tracks.
Right.
Totally.
But this is like the updated version for the digital age.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like a modern day diss track, but, like, delivered through direct messages.
Yeah, and it shows how these like old school traditions in hip hop are evolving. Like in this digital world.
Now, here's where things get really, like, juicy, right?
Okay.
The excerpt, it cuts off before we even get to see Akademiks' response.
Yeah.
It's like a total cliffhanger,
Oh, wow.
leaving us all wondering, like, what did he say back?
Right.
What did he fire back with?
I mean, I think that's like the genius of these online feuds, like all the missing information,
Yeah.
the unanswered questions. It fuels the drama.
Totally.
And keeps everyone hooked. It's like this constant cycle of, like speculation and anticipation.
Yes, it's like perfectly tuned into how we consume stuff online. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, what does all this mean? Like, what's the biggest takeaway for you from this whole Drake and Akademiks saga?
Well, I think for me, what stands out is, the complicated relationship between artists and the public in this age of social media.
Yeah.
It shows how a private conversation can become public so fast.
Right.
And even the biggest stars, they can get caught up in all of this.
They can get dragged in.
They can.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, how has social media changed the way we actually, like, perceive these artists?
Right.
Are they more accessible now? Or are they just, like, under even greater scrutiny?
Yeah.
It's definitely something to think about.
Too.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive today.
Of course.